What's up, guys? Rick from DFS On Demand here with my one and done selection for the Waste Management Open. If you want the full recap of who I like and who I want to play, go watch the DFS video. Got in depth on that, talked a little bit about the course, talked a lot about the plays. For this, we're just going to talk about the pool that I'm in, which we are waving the white flag for the first segment. We are getting our butts kicked. So, just to show you where we stand, we've got one lineup, let's see, in 1456th, one in 1499th, and one in 1511th out of like 1700 or something. Yeah, nearly 1700. So needless to say, not very good. A few small consolation nuggets. Haven't missed a cut yet. Might as well have, but we haven't missed a cut yet. And this is kind of part of the plan, right? Like our plan was to ease into the first segment, not blow through any player worth using. Save it all for segment 2, the majors, the end of the year. It would be nice to pop off and grab one of these guys who drops a top 5 or goes out and wins it or something like that, but hasn't happened, but we're still sticking to the plan. Here's what we've done so far. So last week at the Farmers, we went with Phil, we went with Snedeker, and we went with Francesco Molinari. All three I had no problems with. Obviously, I chose them. Molinari started out hot on the South course, was, I think, top 10 on the South, and then did nothing on the North on day 2 and just kind of faded on the weekend. Phil was, in the top 10 midway through this thing and faded on the weekend. And Snedeker, I don't think he ever really got into contention, but another fade on the weekend. So all three end up with 19,734, which in a pool like this it might as well just be 0. 19,000 is nothing. So we are now basically halfway through the first leg. This is the Waste Management Open. We are not going to burn anyone here. We're going to continue. We're going to try exactly what we did last week, where we're going to choose 3 guys that I think are undervalued, 3 guys that we are not going to use anywhere else, and 3 guys that I think have some outside chance of winning this tournament. That's the plan. We're sticking to it. It's going to get a lot more fun in segment 2 when we start burning through some of the studs. So hopefully we get those right. But that's what we're going to do here. So who are those golfers going to be? Again, for the full rundown, head over to the DFS video. I talk in depth about a lot of players. Here's the one and done tool on dfsondemand.com. Waste management. If you're eating chalk, if you're in the lead in your pool, or you are close enough where you need to just bank money, you will not find a better option all year, at least in terms of course history, than our buddy Hideki Matsuyama. It's wild what he's done. So sometimes we see really good course history in small samples. 4 years in a row starts to be a pretty good sample. Matsuyama has played this 4 times, and in the last 4 years has finished first, second, and 4th. You will not beat that. So if you're a guy who's going to eat chalk, eat it up and enjoy your Hideki Matsuyama, because he is the chalk of the week. Fowler, also excellent course history here. No problems. The guys that I'm going to go with, I'm going to run Phil back out there. Okay, so here's Phil. He's won this tournament in the past. He's had relatively good success. He's played it 10 times. He's got 4 top 15s, essentially, including each of the last 2 years. Phil is this type of golfer where he's always going to make a ton of birdies, and he's going to shoot himself in the foot a lot. So he's good for DFS scoring as well for that. But hoping he can put it all together, especially at TPC Scottsdale, where you do not have to be a straight golfer. Like, if you hit it in the rough ain't that bad. You'll be fine. So I'm giving Phil another shot. So we've used him in one lineup. I'll have to use Phil in one of my other 2 lineups. So we're going to give Phil a shot. Another guy that I like, who, for a few reasons, again, go back and watch the DFS video. Actually, you know what? I'll pause and pull this up for you real quick. So the play here is that I'm going to go with is Zach Johnson for a couple reasons. If we sort by odds, I think he's undervalued in DFS, which makes me think he's undervalued across the board, or maybe overlooked across the board. He's 40 to 1 to win. He's $7,700 in DFS, which is significantly less than a lot of his peers, which I'm hoping is him being overlooked in general because his DFS price doesn't really matter here. But what I have here is a correlation tool that shows us all the most relevant stats over the last 8 years at TPC Scottsdale, and the most relevant stats, Zach Johnson pops up all the time. Strokes gained total, he's there. Scoring average, he's number one. The field differential stroke stat, he is somewhere, isn't he? Yeah, he's right here. Top like 7. And then he makes a ton of birdies. So like 4 out of the 5 stats, right here, 4 out of the 5 stats that I've deemed to be most relevant this week, Zach Johnson pops up a lot. And I believe, where is he? Right here. He's been playing really well, right? Like 4 straight top 25s, including a top 10. So it's not like he's playing poorly or anything like that. So I think he's undervalued across the board, and he really fits this course. Another guy who continues to pop up, and if you saw me roll through those, you might have noticed, is Chesson Hadley. So Hadley, again, I'm just showing you, he's basically top 7 in most of these categories. Here he is, 3rd. And I think he was here too. Maybe not, he was like 20th. But really good for Chesson Hadley, who we can go back and see. Where is he? I always do this when like I can't find a guy, right? Oh man, this is brutal. Here he is. So we saw a lot of success from Hadley at the start of the swing season. He's been fine since. He's coming off a top 25 at the Farmers last week. Like, this seems to be a pretty good fit for him. Again, I'm not trying to burn anyone that I would use anywhere else. Phil, I thought last week might have been the only place I would ever use him. I guess here counts as well. Hadley, we were probably never going to use. And Zach Johnson, we might have used, like, if the Zurich was still a singles event, maybe something like that. Or like one of the, like maybe RBC Heritage, we might have used Zach Johnson. But I'm okay burning him here. So, again, we're going to stick with the idea to try to spread out and get a winner, try to get some differentials in these lineups, and we are literally, unless we pull a winner this week, we're waving the white flag on segment 1, right? I mean, I just don't know how we're going to win it. We're just going to save our studs for the next leg. So there you go. Let me know who you guys are playing. Really interested to hear. Tweet me. It's at DFS On Demand, or leave a comment below. Talk to you soon. See ya.